Once a popular fishing site, now no one dares to fish there. Fishing King Li Zhongping refuses to accept it. Welcome to Ghost Stories, the Fishing Phantom. This is a paranormal experience shared by a netizen 2 years ago. At that time, he was taking his enthusiastic girlfriend home to meet his parents. Unexpectedly, the village was under lockdown and control. They couldn't enter the village temporarily. Most people would have been frustrated in this situation. However, for fisherman Li Zhongping, it didn't matter. Luckily, there was an unsupervised fishing spot at the village entrance. It seemed the fish pond owner was also stuck due to the lockdown. Probably couldn't get out of the village either. So, in a rush, Li Zhongping eagerly took out the fishing rods from the car and began fishing with his girlfriend, thinking that since the place wasn't operating, the owner probably wouldn't stock the pond with many fish. Unexpectedly, his girlfriend Liu Panjia quickly caught a big fish. Seeing the big fish in her hands, handsome Li Zhongping was impressed and praised her. He even said a few more compliments. With his looks, finding a girlfriend of the village beauty level would have been easy. But a village beauty might not share his passion for fishing in comparison. He preferred someone like his girlfriend Liu Panjia, who shared his hobby and was also the owner of a fishing gear shop. Panjia, you'll never leave me, right? You're like the fishing rod in my hand. We'll never be apart in this lifetime. Liu Panjia was so touched that she screamed with joy. She immediately promised to gift him the most expensive fishing rod. They caught several more big fish while laughing together. This made Li Zhongping very happy, just as he was laughing heartily. Out of the corner of his eye, he noticed a dark figure on the water's surface. It was clear. It was a shadow cast from the shore. But with such strict lockdown measures, how could anyone have escaped from the village? Guiltily, Li Zhongping quickly looked towards the shore. There wasn't a single person in sight. Liu Panjia laughed at him for being so scared. Even if the owner showed up, just pay double and it would be fine. Li Zhongping loved how bold his girlfriend was, but after that, he kept feeling like someone was watching him. That feeling seemed to come from the small fishing hut on the shore. Although it was clearly empty, in the water's reflection, there was suddenly an extra figure that shouldn't have been there. This time, he didn't see wrong. According to the reflection in the water, it was clear someone was standing next to the small hut. Looking closer, there was a rope hanging from that person's neck. Oh no, someone's hanged themselves. When he shouted this, Liu Panjia jumped in fright, but there was no one near the hut at all. This was too strange. They quickly packed up their fishing gear and got in the car. It wasn't that Li Zhongping was scared, but he was really curious to know the truth. After all, seeing a ghost in broad daylight was a first for him. He turned on the car lights and deliberately drove past the small hut. To his surprise, the hut didn't even have a door. It seemed like no one had lived there for many years. However, there was no one at the cabin at all. This is really strange. Pack up the fishing gear and get in the car quickly. It wasn't that Li Zhongping was scared, but he really wanted to uncover the truth. After all, it was his first time seeing a ghost in broad daylight. He turned on the car lights and deliberately drove past the cabin. To his surprise, the cabin didn't even have a door. It looked like no one had lived there for many years. It was strange that such a large fishing spot had no one watching over it. Even if it was abandoned, why were there so many fish with no one fishing? This issue bothered him for 2 full years. Until recently, when he returned to his hometown. He finally uncovered the truth. It turned out that the fishing spot's original owners were a young couple. The couple invested all their savings into the fishing business. But a local village bully who loved to eat fish often came to cause trouble. The owner didn't dare offend the bully, so he let him take as many fish as he wanted, without charging him a penny. However, the bully, who couldn't fish, didn't catch a single fish all day. This made him furious. Thinking the owner was deliberately making him look bad, he felt humiliated. So, he gathered some thugs and beat the owner until he was searching for his teeth on the ground. Not only that, he also bought some bottles of pesticide and poured them into the water. In no time, dead fish floated all over the water. The male owner couldn't bear it and hanged himself. His wife, in her grief, had to sell the fishing business for cheap. It's said that the new owner often heard ghostly cries outside at night, and even saw figures on the water in broad daylight that shouldn't have been there. So, despite the abundance of fish, no one dared to fish there. If you're brave enough, you can contact Li Zhongping. No one dares to fish there. If you're brave enough, you can contact Li Zhongping. He can take you there.